All right, welcome to episode 25. It's my birthday.
Happy birthday, man.
Thanks. It was a good one. Probably my favorite birthday.
I'd call you an old fart, but the dog's sitting here right. And he just ripped one like 5 minutes ago, and it stunk so bad. And I don't want to give him any more
I
ideas.
know. I almost wanted to be like, we should record this episode outside. But it was probably my favorite birthday, and this will probably be one of my favorite episodes that we've recorded, just because it's everybody likes funny stuff.
I hate funny stuff. Let's not listen.
You're right.
Everybody says that.
That's what a lot of people say. Especially that dude on the gram the other day.
Yeah, our first troll. Felt so proud of. Yeah, that's how we know. Look, Ma, we made it.
Oh, good times.
So my brain is always turning,
Mhm.
and I'm always trying to think of like episode ideas. And I was scrolling through Twitter the other day, and I refuse to call it X because it's fucking dumb. But yeah, I was reminded of the whole blooper saga from the last fall when an entire city rallied around trolling another team's mascot. And it reminded me that,
One of the greatest moments.
yeah, it kind of gave me the idea. Like, what if we just do every now and then something like that happens?
Mhm.
Some sort of episode happens where you say something like, God, I fucking love this city. We're only in Philly.
Yep.
And it gave me an idea, dude. We should just do an whole episode of all the crazy shit that happened in the city since at least in our lifetimes.
Yeah.
Can't imagine what it must have been like before we were around.
Fucking, we were saying before we started this episode, like how much funny shit was lost to
History
just because phones with cameras weren't a thing
and social
for-
media wasn't a thing. I mean, Philly's so wild that we took down a fucking empire.
Right. So
The first political sex scandal in the United States happened in Philadelphia.
Mhm.
Alexander Hamilton banging Mariah Reynolds and got extorted for it. Probably derailed his presidential ambitions. Only in Philly.
Yep.
So, what are some of your favorite only in Philly moments?
I don't know. I think there's so many that I just love.
One of the ones that
And-
I found this picture from about 5 years ago, and I posted it a while back on Instagram under our podcast page. We went to a Flyers game, and we were tailgating, and I had to pee, and I walked into the porta potty, just found this epic drawing of Gritty with a giant cartoon penis with the caption, "Let's get gritty."
Fucking amazing.
Yeah, I fucking love this city.
We'll post it. We'll
Yeah,
post it
we'll
again.
post it again. Hey, fuck it. I'm gonna put it on Twitter, and if it gets 1,000 retweets, I'll get that tattoo of the Gritty with a giant cock.
Dude, imagine when that happens and you have to get that tattoo.
You know what? I'm a man of my word. I'll do it.
And a couple years online, you have a girlfriend. You have to be like, so
Yeah, I may have a.
I have one big red flag, and it's a big, huge, gritty dick.
It's an orange flag, I guess, in that sense.
Right? Oh my god, that'd be fucking hilarious.
Gritty himself is a only in Philly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, think about it. Even our fucking sports mascot is a meth head.
Amazing.
Oh man, Gritty was born and raised in Kensington.
Right.
Yeah, so I took to Reddit the other day to ask some of the only in Philly moments.
Mhm.
And boy, did they deliver. I think my favorite one, this guy says, I moved away in 1996 on my first return visit in 97 with my then girlfriend from the boonies of Ohio and had never been here. We got a rental car after flying in pretty late at night. First stop was at Wawa, and I had sung its praises to her. Then pizza. Showing her around the city that night, we pull up onto a dead Market Street where there's a totally naked dude doing the robot in the middle of the intersection. I just looked at her and said, "It's good to be home."
That's fucking amazing.
And then he adds, next day I realized somebody cut the rental plate. It was probably gritty.
Right?
Oh
That
man.
is a fucking only
Only in
in
Philly.
Philly. And that one's fucking perfect.
Place where we eat horse poop to celebrate championships.
Right?
One of my favorites was the dude um who dove off the bridge into the Vine Street Expressway in the Hurricane Ida floods. Like
Yeah.
it's probably all kinds of shit water in there from the sewers and whatever else. Probably got hepatitis, but you know what? How often are you going to get a chance to jump onto the Vine Street Expressway and not splatter yourself all over the pavement? But
Right.
it's a once in a lifetime opportunity right there.
Yeah, and
I'm
you
glad you
fucking
took it.
did it. You fucking did it. That was awesome.
Another one, Phil Yelmo, one of my fucking favorites. It's so, remember a couple of years ago there was a trash fire. There's like a massive trash fire, and somebody's recording, and then the camera pans over, and there's Phil Yelmo when his his drum line just like dancing and shit.
Yep.
Phil Yelmo also starred in the 2020 election saga outside
Mhm.
the convention center where they're counting the votes, and there's a bunch of people dressed like mailboxes dancing with him. One of my favorite signs I've ever seen. It said something like Trump uninvited the Eagles to the White House, so we return the favor.
Right. Oh man.
Oh.
I fucking love this city.
The Flyers fan who jumped into the penalty box to fight Ty Domi one was like
Hmm.
late 90s, early 2000s. That would only happen here.
Yeah.
Another one I thought of a while back. Glenn Macnow writes in his Great Philadelphia Fan book the story of I think it was like 1976 or so, somewhere around there, when the St. Louis Blues were in town and the fans were on the players so bad that a bunch of players got pissed and ran into the stands to fight them. But like, the funny thing is, the giveaway that day was like a mini Flyers hockey sticks. They were all armed.
Perfect.
Yeah. Oh man. So um we have I think Eric, our brother, was at this game. It was September of 1990, I believe. And the Broncos were in town. John Elway, the perennial Super Bowl contender. And they come into Philly into the vet and get their asses kicked 30-0. And that wasn't even the best fight of the day. The best fight of that day was uh, Wes Hopkins had given tickets to his side piece, and she sat in the players' wives section, and Wes's wife was there.
Oh god.
So Wes's wife starts wailing on this chick, and the best part about it is Reggie White's wife Sarah was holding her back, which is even funnier considering Reggie White's the preacher guy. And, there's the '97 Eagles game when somebody shot the flare gun over from
Yeah.
one side of the vet to the other,
I forgot about that
and
one.
you hear Al Michaels, "What was that?" Fuck.
How's that even
The
happen?
vet was just a lawless wasteland. That's how. I remember the Philly Fanatic going up into the 700 level back in the '90s, and there's people like banging in the stands, and you go up and like shoot water on them.
Yeah, I remember the guy that lived at the vet. Can't forget that one. It was
He worked for the team in some capacity. I can't remember, but he wrote a book about it. He says he claims to have lived at the vet in a shutdown, reconfigured concession stand for like a year.
fucking amazing.
He tells a story about going into the 700 level in the middle of the night and just looking up at the stars. That must have been pretty cool.
This is my home, figuratively and literally.
Some of the players, he said, would come by and hang out with him until to wait for the traffic to die down and stuff after the games. Nobody knows whether the story's true or not, but it's still entertaining and it's still a very Philly story. Let's go back to Reddit, read some of these because some of them are fucking hysterical. I kind of wanted to put these into Because just because something crazy happens here, which it often does, doesn't mean like, and we laugh about it and say fucking Philly. But like some of them are pretty fucked up. Like I'm not trying to laugh at all the things that happen here because we are the home of serial killer Gary Heidnick, who inspired Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
Um, that guy Gary Heidnick, he sort of had a cult run out of his house on, I think, when he lived on Marshall Street somewhere in Philly.
I, I don't know.
He had
Don't
like
know
a
the fine
church.
details.
He had like a church, and a bunch of people would come to his little weird church services. It's fucking crazy. Like that guy of all people
Mm.
started got people to follow him. All this time he had women chained up in his basement. It's fucking crazy. He almost got caught way before he did, but because a neighbor called the police to complain about the smell, and then the cop knocked on his door, and Heidnick answers, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I was cooking a pot roast, and I fell asleep and it burned. That must be what the smell was." And the cop was like, "Oh, okay, cool. I'll take your word for it." In reality, it was a human head boiling on a stove.
Jesus Christ.
Fucking crazy.
It was a pot roaster, of course.
And then I'm sure everyone's familiar with the Move bombing in 1985. But
Yeah. What a crazy story that is.
yeah, so I guess the Move guys that had a bunker on top of the roof, like so nobody can get into the house or whatever. And the police respond. They came up with a great idea. Oh, let's just drop some C4 on it from a helicopter. And they did, and they burned down like 6 blocks. But Jesus Christ, man. Fun fact about that, I believe it happened the same day that they officially broke ground on Liberty Place.
Wow.
Yeah, so one end of the city you have a groundbreaking for skyscrapers, and the other end it's on fire because the police and FBI dropped some C4 on the place.
Fucking fucking wild.
So what else? This one, I forgot about this. Dumpster pools being so popular, the city had to ban them.
Yeah, I forgot about that too.
Remember that group of boomers who had was the Eagles Saints playoff game back in 20 after the 2013 season, and they had a jacuzzi like they brought into the Link parking lot. It was just sitting in the jacuzzi in like 12-degree weather or whatever.
It's amazing. Good smart.
The Swiss cheese pervert is another one.
Yeah, I
The guy would
totally forgot about that guy.
the guy just dangling Swiss cheese while jerking off in front of women, and around the same time they also had the Mad Whacker. Remember him? He was more in I think he was in the KOP area, but he would drive his car in a 2-lane highway and honk their horn at people. And then he like arch his back so his dick was like visible through the window, and he just go to town whacking it. I remember the Preston and Steve show tracking his progress back in the day. I'm not sure if he ever got caught. And Hitchbot.
That's probably my favorite of all time. You asked me earlier, and now I'm thinking about it. That's probably my favorite. Only in Philly moment.
Because it's just so ridiculous. I mean, it's such a cute story. The beginning of it, like this Canadian scientist or whatever who built the robot and it hitchhiked all around North America, and then it comes to Philly, he gets fucking beheaded. It's just didn't even last the whole day in Philly. Of course.
The fucking picture of it all fucking mangled.
Yeah, it's just in like 5 different pieces.
Oh, Hitchbot.
And then we have our captive characters here. Vent Man, the guy who sits outside McGlinchey's, is it on, and stands on the vents, and he has like all the silk pajamas, whatever the fuck they are. Philly Jesus, furnace party, first furnace party guy to attend. They did attend.
They did.
There was a big ass party on. I forget where that was.
What was it? The vacant parking lot.
Yeah.
Oh. That deserves like a whole segment in itself. Just
Furnace
how that
party
happened.
revisited.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was that weird letter that people were getting.
Mm.
Made no sense. Signed to do attend. The cast of characters, you have Philly Jesus, who turned out was a pretty big homophobe, from what I understand. Yeah, there he is in Boston, Hitchbot. He looked like he's having a hell of a time.
It's fucking awesome. They should do a Hitchbot too.
Oh
See
God,
what happens.
there he is. Where is he at? Fenway, San Francisco,
San Francisco, yeah. There he is in New
New
York
York.
City.
Ed Bassmaster. Oh no, just
There's,
picked up a hitchhiking robot.
like got really weird.
He just wanted to look at it.
Yeah, he didn't want to. He didn't want to.
I don't want to drive it around. I just wanted to look at it.
Oh my god, it's fucking.
Oh, and then he dies in Philadelphia. I mean, yes, does it reinforce uh, the stereotype? Yes, it does.
Mhm.
Is it hilarious still? Yes, it is.
I laughed. I'm still laughing. That was so. How many years ago now?
Remember the dude in Mardi Gras who punched the police horse?
Yeah.
I don't think Philly's had a Mardi Gras parade since then. Man, what a city.
Speaking of
What?
fucking Phils.
Yeah, man, 6 game win streak, 2 sweeps. I mean, they're against the worst teams in baseball, but hey,
But hey,
how many times have we seen them frustratingly lose games
yeah,
that they should win? But hey, they're doing it. And Brandon Marsh has been on freaking fire.
right.
Here's another one from Reddit. So in September of 2022, my wife and I moved back to Philly from Northern Virginia. We've been back in the town less than 12 hours, and we were walking down Broad Street near Walnut. This guy comes running around a corner, sucker punches me, dumps a gallon of milk on his face and hair, and then rips his jeans off, now naked to the world, and starts chasing a car down the street, dick flapping in the wind. So beautifully written. Singing out white lines. I looked at my wife with a mix of pissed and flabbergasted and said, God damn, I fucking missed Philly. Uh, what are some ones that happened to us? Remember driving home from a preseason game in what, 2007 or whatever?
Oh yeah.
And we were on 76 and it's August, so we have the windows down and we hear a guy in the car next to us, hey, hey, I guess he sees our Eagles jerseys. They win tonight? What was the score? We are like 27-10. He goes, damn, we fucked them up tonight.
And also, not only did that happen, that also was the same night that we were so pissed that they were doing construction during in the night of an Eagles game that we knocked over every single cone on the way
I
home.
kind of feel bad about that now.
I probably
And
shouldn't have said that. Now they're gonna come after us and be like, "You assholes!"
They were cones.
Did you ever see how they picked them up at the end of the night?
Yeah, somebody drive like the back, right on the back of a truck or something.
Yeah, and then they just reach over, but no, they had to get off and
No.
bend over. Now I feel
Now I
bad.
feel really bad. They're all union workers too.
Probably.
I'm sorry, road construction guys.
But we were just trying to get home. We had to work the next day. Back when we could do that. Now we
Yeah.
can't. Now we're old.
Yeah,
as
now I'd
fuck.
be calling out. I'd be on the phone on the way home. Like, yep, I'm going to
Right.
work tomorrow. Oh man, I was a superhero back then. Nothing fazed me.
And now I feel really bad.
Oh, here's one. I should post this picture too because it's fucking hilarious. I was on South Street for Spring Fest back in like 2016 or whatever. And anyone who knows me knows I'm a huge Batman nerd. Apparently, there's some sort of Comic Con thing going on at the TLA that day. And there's a dude dressed as Batman in tights, and he did not have anything on under the tights. So, of course, I got a picture with him because he was Batman with his little peen showing. His tights were so tight you could see the shape of his dick and everything. It's fucking wild. But Philly Batman,
Mhm.
only in Philly. Oh man, I don't know how this episode's gonna go. It's kind of random, but yeah, there's another one for our cast of characters, the rotisserie chicken guy.
Yeah.
When did that happen? When was that?
I don't know.
Was that during COVID? That sounds like
It had to have been.
it
Had
sounds
to
like
have been.
something that would have happened. Putting
It had to have
put
been.
in posters up around the city. Come watch me eat my 40th rotisserie chicken. At 40, you eat one every day for 40 days or something like that. And the whole city coming together to cheer this guy on. It's so quintessentially Philly.
Plot twist. I wonder if it's Miles' old coworker who every day he would come to work with the rotisserie chicken from Costco.
Oh, no way.
I
Yeah, where did he get them from? I wonder.
don't know.
Uh,
That story sounds made up.
the cheesesteak guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does, definitely does. I don't even want to read it. Apparently, the gist is somebody. Yeah, because they're even specific where they got the cheesesteak from.
Mhm.
And they say Pat's because no actual Philadelphian, unless they're drunk as hell at 3 in the morning, gets a fucking Pat's on purpose.
Yeah. Someone asked me on Friday. We had a guy at work. Um, he came in from the Dallas area. Boo.
Them.
But he was originally from New York, so he gets a pass. He's just in
Well,
Dallas.
unless
for
he's a
work.
Giants fan, then fuck him.
Right. But he asked me, he goes, what's the best cheesesteak? Geno's or Tony Luke's? I'm like, neither.
None of the above. Tony Leaks is okay, but like,
I was like, where are you staying? He's like, I'm at this Marriott in KOP. I'm like, any shop around there is gonna be better than. He's like, really?
go to Angelo's in KOP.
Yeah. And he was like totally blown away that I didn't recommend the touristy places. I'm like, you're in town. If you want to go get a picture in front of the bright lights, go for it. But get a cheesesteak elsewhere.
If he's a Cowboy fan, I would have sent him to Geno's.
Oh yeah, for sure. But anyway, speaking of cheesesteaks, I had to throw that one in there.
Fucking love cheesesteaks. I don't even care. What else we got here?
I don't know.
Yeah,
So
I
many.
don't know about this episode, guys.
I don't know, we could just end it right here. Like, all right, good night, bye. that's that's our story. A little filler. We could talk about. I don't know.
Oh, great. Oh man. So
So you like stuff?
Ralph Wiggum. Remember the time we were at the Phillies game and the girl and her boyfriend got in an epic fight? She gets up in the stand, starts standing in his like right 2 inches from his face and screams in his face, "You want me to embarrass you? Do you want me to embarrass you?" And the whole section starts going, "Embarrass him!"
Yeah. Oh, remember the time you got kicked out of the Phillies game?
Yes. Not even my fault. So there's dudes in front of us.
Yeah.
Somebody was selling I love a good parking lot shirt, the knockoff shirts you can buy in the parking lots. So we bought well, I should rephrase that. Dale bought. This guy was selling had like a cartoon middle finger with Calvin and Hobbes pissing on was it the Mets logo or something like that.
Mhm.
And it said FNY or whatever. And somebody hung one over the outfield wall, and Shane Victorino was like yelling at them to take it down. And it was a nationally televised game, so I'm guessing it probably got on the broadcast. Because next thing I know, security's coming down to our section, and
And you just happened to have one of those shirts
yeah,
in your lap.
he kicked me and Dale out. We almost got back in because we left whatever entrance. I guess it was on the was the 11th Street side, and we walked down the way a little bit, so like 3 entrances down, and there's this old guy. And Dale walks up to him and he goes, "I'm not from here. I didn't know that I just came out to have a cigarette. I didn't realize that I couldn't get back in. My mistake. Can you help me out?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, sure. Come on back in." And right when we step foot back in the stadium, that's the guy that kicked us out goes, starts, "What the fuck? Trying to take advantage of my coworkers?" Yes.
Yeah. Since you mentioned it, actually, yes.
Oh, there's one for Reddit. Wing Bowl. It's officially retired now, and probably for good reason because those places, it was such a display of debauchery. it would be on the. I'm sure everyone who might be listening knows Wing is familiar with Wing Bowl, but for those who
Mhm.
aren't, it was on the WIP morning show. So the thing would start at 6 a.m. over the concourses of the Wells Fargo Center, being just loaded up with fans waiting for the beer concessions to open. I remember one time we were there and it was like 10 seconds to go before 7 o'clock and everyone's counting down 10, 9, 8. But it started back in the 80s or 90s, I guess, because it would always be the week before the Super Bowl. And because the Eagles were never in the Super Bowl, uh, we had to have something to do. So they came up with a Wing Bowl. And I remember the one year Matt Stairs crushing shotgun and beers and then crushing the cans on his head. And
Yeah.
I think Jason Kelsey might have done that at one year.
I just couldn't imagine eating wings that early in the morning. Like the only way I could eat wings, like copious amounts of wings that early in the morning, is if I was stayed up all night, was
Yeah.
still drunk from the night
Yeah.
before,
If
and
you're
I'm
at a
just like,
diner at
oh my god,
3
I'm
a.m. or
so fucking
whatever.
hungry.
Yeah, but like only in Philly would you get 10,000 people into an arena to watch people eat wings at 6 a.m.
Delicious.
Remember after the one after the 2002 NFC Championship game, some asshole showed up in a complete Tampa, like he had the helmet, the shoulder pads, and everything, and he was walking around the perimeter of the floor. Everybody's booing and throwing things at him. So we got the draft coming up, huh? Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday.
Eagles have three picks in the first two rounds, one in the first, two in the second. Should be interesting. They
Hmm.
have to pick at 22 in the first round. Um, let's just hope. I don't know. I mean, they could trade up. Honestly, to where, but is anybody, does any, like, who's there? Who's going to be there at 22 where any other team really wants that player and
Yeah.
trades up? I could see the Eagles trading up more than I can see them trading down just because I'm not
Hmm.
sure whether there will be a trade partner for a trade down. But
Yeah.
some of the hot um, players there that everyone's talking about. Cooper DeJean, the defensive back from Iowa. Um, Nate Wiggins, I think is his name, Nate Wiggins. Or did I just make that up?
Sounds made up.
The cornerback from Clemson. Watch Nate Wiggins to be some guy who played for like Cincinnati back in 2003. I just pulled out of my ass.
No, there he
That's
is.
his name, Nate Wiggins.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Thanks, producers. Brought it out. There he is.
What do you want to do with this episode? You want to keep going?
Yeah, because you know what else we could talk about this episode is that it's my birthday today and I'm feeling extra old. And this guy, Nate Wiggins, was born August 28th, 2003.
Jesus Christ. We were probably we were probably tailgating a preseason game
Right.
the day he was born.
Probably. Let's wonder who the Eagles play that day.
That's what the 50th anniversary of 40th anniversary of the I Have a Dream speech, August 28th, 2003.
Yeah. Oh, that 2003 season was wild, huh?
It was. Started out 0-2, then lose to Dallas, dropped to what, 2-3 or 1-3 or whatever. And Brian Westbrook saves the season, go on a 9-game win streak, only to lose to the fucking Carolina Panthers in the NFC Championship game. But at least we got 4th and 26 out of it.
Yeah, right.
This episode feels like our first one where we didn't know what we were doing.
So it was Jets at Eagles. And of course we lost to the Jets. But it was preseason, whatever.
Yeah. So there actually was we probably were there.
Possibly, yeah.
Wow.
That's all right. Bad episodes are good ones.
At least we're getting content out there.
Awkward silence.
I know, man. Like, there's just not much going on.
Yeah, like I saw on Reddit, like someone was like, What are some good podcasts to listen to where people just shoot the shit and don't talk about anything? And I'm like,
Yeah, we're like
that's like us half the
we're
time.
the we're the Seinfeld of podcasts. A show about nothing.
It's like we have a topic every once in a while, but most of the time it's like just us bullshitting. And
Well, we do have some cool episodes coming up, I think.
yeah,
But we wanted to do something because our next one I think is going to be on domestic violence because that's an issue that's pretty close to us. And we think should be talked about more. And last week our last episode we did the Quiet on Set episode, so we didn't want to do two heavy subject matters
yeah, we don't
in a row. We want to break it up with something a little lighter, some
Mhm.
levity, some funny shit. So just take a stroll down Philadelphia and you probably see a naked person, some chicken bones on the ground.
right.
Who the fuck knows what else? Um,
And you know, might go to the porta potties, might see some amazing art.
we were at remember the Monday Night Football game in 2005 against
The one I almost
the
died.
one you almost died at. All right, did you go to the bathroom?
Guarantee you, the only reason I lived is because I was young. If I did that now, I'd definitely be fucking frozen in the stands still.
I can still picture you in nothing but your McNabb jersey
And my
Under Armour.
Oh my god, I'm an idiot.
But yeah, that tailgate, I went to the bathroom and I saw like how the little chimney thing at the top of the porta potties, and I saw a bunch of what I thought was steam coming out of it. And the door was unlocked, so I opened it up, and there's two crackheads in there hotboxing the fucking thing.
Me at the end of that Seahawks game.
Jack Nicholson from The Shining. And then the crazy thing is, I was like super bundled up in that. I had a jersey on probably with like a sweatshirt under it. And then I had a coat, and I had remember back in the day when you can fill out a credit card application and you get like a free blanket or whatever. I had an Eagles blanket that I used as a scarf. Remember, I kept asking, yo, do you like one of my layers? Like, no, man, I'm good.
Narrator, he wasn't good. I remember I went to the Dunkin' Donuts and got a coffee or a hot chocolate or something. And like by the time I got back to my seat, it was cold.
Is it still there, Dunkin'?
Probably.
Wow. Here's a Philly story. Speaking of the link, or back when it was first opened. Remember Hoagie Gate?
Yeah. Oh my
First
god.
of all, I'm not sure I've ever seen anyone carry a hoagie into a game, but that didn't stop the Eagles from trying to ban it.
I guess it was a big enough of an issue that
My favorite reason was that they're like, well, it's for security. 9/11 was just a couple of years ago, blah, blah, blah. Like, what do you think? There's like a terrorist cell that's going to bring hoagie bombs into the fucking link? Like, come on, man. Such bullshit. And then a state rep from Northeast Philly was like,
bomb from a hoagie that's in that stadium is what it does to my fucking stomach after everyone.
And there's a state rep from Northeast Philly who was like, nah, that's not a thing. We just gave you a shit ton of public money, and then the Eagles backed down and we're like, all right, fine, you can bring your stupid cheese, hoagies or whatever. But who does that? Who brings a freaking hoagie with them to a game?
I don't know. If anybody listening does that, let us know. We want to meet you.
Yeah. I also want to know where you get your hoagies from.
Yeah, I haven't had a good one for a while.
Oh, neither have I. Where do you go to get a good hoagie?
I don't know. Oh, here's some Philly news. Supposedly, gyms on South Street's slated to open May 1st. Yeah, after their fire, what was that, 2022? They had their fire there.
Something like that.
And hopefully they meet their deadline because rewind to that story from the guy from Dallas. That's where I told him to go if they were open.
I think the West Philly one is still open. I guess that's a little bit of a hike from if you're staying in Center City or KOP or whatever.
Yeah.
But no, if you want a good cheesesteak, Jim's is okay. For a while, that was my go-to, but I think I was just young and didn't know any better.
I meant it as like if you're gonna go to somewhere in Philadelphia,
yeah,
get a Philly cheesesteak. If you have to call it Philly,
yeah,
you're wrong.
If you call it a Philly cheesesteak, like I always love people who market them as Philly cheesesteaks. If you put Philly in there, then it's guaranteed to
Gonna be
suck.
bullshit. Yeah.
When I was stationed in California, um, I heard a rumor that there was a restaurant on base called Charlie's, but it was like on the far side of the base.
He was
It
like,
was
I was out all day.
it was we should get him on the show.
We should.
Charlie's this old grizzled Marine vet who wears his dress blues everywhere. He's like 75 years old, but he can party better than any of us can. Anyway, there's this place called Charlie's on the far side of the base. It was a hike to get there, but I was really feeling homesick. Anyway, the reason I found out about Charlie's is because there's like another Philly guy that I ran into there. He told me that there's a place that's on the base that serves cheesesteaks. I was like, fuck yeah, man. I really want something from home. I've been away for like, I don't know, 6 months or whatever at this point. I really want to, get a cheesesteak, something from home to make me feel a little bit better. So we do take us this trek to Charlie's. We find it after like an hour walk, and I order a cheesesteak. I'm like, fuck yeah. And then it comes. And I'm like, fuck no. It was like, those like little pineapple rolls or whatever they're called.
Mm-hmm.
It was like served on one of them. It was like just a slice of it looked like roast beef with like a Kraft single on top, not even melted, just stuffed on top in the bun, top of the bun. But like that was the most disappointing moment of my young life at that point. That was not a cheesesteak.
It was a steak with some bullshit cheese on
there was steak and there was cheese, but it was not a cheesesteak. God, I was so disappointed.
And and Jake and I, my roommate Jake, had this conversation that objectively, a cheesesteak is such a awful sandwich. Like,
Yeah,
it's three components if you count the bread.
Yeah.
But there's just something about it that's just so like comforting.
Look, man, if you do it right, they're fucking delicious.
Fuck yeah.
They have every reason not to be because, like you said, it's probably something that was invented accidentally, kind of like the story about the buffalo wings, or at least the urban legend about how that came about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, we've been slacking on what we started a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago at this point.
Oh yeah,
to find the best suburban cheesesteak.
Yeah, life gets in the way.
Yeah,
but
I'm not sure, honestly, if we're gonna find a better one than Gazzo's was anyway.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't have went there first.
Yeah, Gazzo's in Pottstown. Boy, I've had a lot of shitty cheesesteaks in my life, and I've had a lot of really good ones.
Mm-hmm.
That one by far was the best I've ever had in my life.
Yeah. Like,
I can't wait until their brick and mortar opens up.
Yeah,
because it's a food truck now, and once they run out of their inventory for the day, they're done. Because I guess they have limited space.
Yeah. Supposedly they have 500 servings in that truck. Space for 500 rolls and like obviously enough to make 500 sandwiches. Supposedly, and they sell out more often than they don't, which is pretty impressive for the place that offers what we went up there and they had 6 sandwiches on their menu and that was it.
Yeah.
And then some sides and shit.
Yeah.
It's impressive that they're able to sell out. So that should tell you
so good. They make it. I guess what makes it is they use Cooper Sharp for their cheese, right? Smoked Cooper Sharp. Or is it smoked Cooper?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's a
Cooper
different
Sharp.
thing.
No, yeah, it's Cooper Sharp.
Oh, okay.
It's sharp American cheese.
I wasn't sure if it was 2 different types of,
and it's smoked. And I'm not sure if they smoke it themselves or if they contract with somebody that smokes it for them. I don't know. But either way, if you've never had smoked Cooper,
oh yeah,
the first time I had smoked Cooper was from the Amish market up near Dale's.
Oh yeah, that place is awesome.
Yeah,
the bacon from there, it's like 2 inches thick.
Mm-hmm. But they have smoked Cooper that they smoke themselves, and it's fucking phenomenal.
Remember the night before the Super Bowl last 2 years ago? At this point, Jesus. Was that where we got the cheese? Remember we made the Jalen Hurts cheesesteaks?
Yeah, with the smoked Cooper.
Yeah, they were good.
Fuck, damn, Gazzo stole our idea.
Well, it started out at that. I forget what the place is called. That where Jalen went and he didn't want Whiz or
Mm.
American or whatever. So you ask for that. Like honestly, that should be a Philly violation if you're asking for smoked Cooper mayo.
Can I get Swiss?
Yeah, John Kerry. You know, he brokered the Iran deal that dismantled Iran's nuclear weapons, but he will always be remembered as the guy who asked for fucking Swiss on his cheesesteak.
Did he get it though, or
I
did
don't
they
know.
laugh
I
in
don't-
his
They
face?
probably laughed in his face. That's the real reason he lost the 2004 election.
Probably. He didn't get the Philly vote.
He did win Pennsylvania though, so I guess he did.
Well, maybe he won Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So went the Permane brothers probably.
Oh, we have fries on our steak, on our sandwiches. Fuck you, man. That's what I think about your stupid sandwiches.
I had one and it was very underwhelming.
Yeah, like
Like
'cause
it was good, but it wasn't like I'm glad I happened to be in Pittsburgh and that's why I got it and I didn't make the trek all the way out there just for
Yeah.
that.
I feel bad for anybody who does. Like,
Yeah.
oh, look at us. We put French fries on it. I don't fuck about it. I want French fries. They're a side for a reason, sir.
Yeah.
I have a friend from
French
Pittsburgh.
fries and slaw. And it's ultimately a Reuben, right?
It's ultimately a piece of shit. I just fell, ladies and gentlemen. Not even because I was drunk, just because my stool tipped over. That really hurt. Sorry. Anyway,
It's gonna hurt even more because we're old.
I have a friend from Pittsburgh who absolutely despises Permane Brothers.
Oh, that's because it's like, oh, you can get any protein meat on it, and it's that fucking sloppy slaw and
I don't.
French fries.
I don't want a sandwich I have to eat in pieces because it falls apart.
Yeah, yeah, I was very underwhelmed with mine, but
If I'm gonna get something like that, I'm just gonna get a bowl of soup where it's supposed to be in pieces.
right,
It's a dumb thing to say. I know.
it's true though. I love good soup though.
Oh, God, you know what I feel like this episode is? Remember that episode of How I Met Your Mother when Barney had went to Lily's play and hated it, so he made her come to his play, and it was just like a bunch of random nonsense thrown together. That's what this episode is.
It is. I mean, that's kind of we're just sitting around recording our conversation, like, which we say all the time that we should be recording this. This is good content.
Yeah, and now we realize why we don't.
Amazing.
Oh. Well, at least I made cool episode art for this one.
Yeah.
What? Oh. Yeah, I have I just threw a little thing together. There's the dude hanging off the lamppost for the Eagles Super Bowl celebration. The backdrop is the flooded Vine Street Expressway. I have Philly Jesus walking on the water there. Hitchbot is in there somewhere, I think. But
Decapitated.
I think
Now I want Gazos.
dude, my goal in life is to be the official podcast of Guys With Sticks.
Right.
We should do a live show from there. All three people be in there just trying to eat their cheesesteaks. I'm like, well, you guys gotta shut the fuck up. Oh man. I guess the search is over after one stop.
Yeah, right.
Actually, no, we didn't have it just the one stop. We went to Affamados
Yeah.
in West Norton, Jeffersonville.
That place is pretty good.
Yeah,
too.
that was one of the better cheesesteaks I've ever had.
Mm.
And where else? Oh, Tony G's, Norristown, West
Yep.
Norton, also same area. Very good.
Mm.
Angelo's and KOP.
Yep.
I know the famous one is Angelo's in Philly, but there's a different Angelo's that
Mm.
makes a pretty good cheesesteak.
Some good pizza. Too.
Yeah, they do.
I love pizza. Yeah. Fat kid loves food. Headline.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
I mean, I don't just love food. I love particular foods. I have a pretty wide range of things that I like, but yeah, pizza is one of those things I could eat every day.
Well, what about shrimp tacos?
You made some good
What we
ones
had
tonight.
today.
Did you ever send me that picture?
No.
If I have to ask, then he probably didn't.
Don't do I'll do it now. We'll do it
We'll do
live.
it live. Oh man, no wonder no one listens to the show. At least most of the time we have like structured episodes where we have something to talk about. But it's just been so weird lately that we're in that lull before the draft, after free agency. The Phillies, yeah, but like, does anyone
Yeah.
remember a random Phillies game in April?
I think right now is the equivalent of like the term where lame duck comes from.
Yeah,
That those
the
there's 2 months
the,
between.
the Flyers are done. The Sixers are probably done because Embiid got injured and this shitty piece of garbage fucking Knicks fans cheered about it.
Of course they did.
Yeah, but we threw snowballs at Santa Claus fucking 60 years ago. Speaking of, let's talk about that because there's a very specific thing that was in the news related to that this recently. The death of O.J. Simpson.
Mm-hmm.
He almost was an Eagle.
Yeah.
I'm sure most people are familiar with the story, but I'm going to tell it again because we
Mhm.
got nothing else to talk about. In 1968, the Eagles were, I don't think they had won a game. And then December rolls around, and all they have to do is lose the rest of their games. And they have a game, I think it must have been the last game of the season against the Minnesota Vikings, who are also terrible. And they are winning at halftime, the Eagles are. And of course, fans are kind of nervous, like, oh shit, a win would have dropped them to the second overall pick in the draft instead of the first. And the consensus first overall pick that year was OJ Simpson, running back from USC. And so at halftime, the fans are probably nervous and getting pissed off because, like, finally now you want to win a game. And it's right before Christmas. So they pick this drunk, I think he was like 19 years old, this drunk dude with like a 5 o'clock shadow behind the fake beard. And they pulled him out of the stands and marched him across the field as their little halftime Christmas show. And it was just like a display of, it was like the embodiment basically of how cheap the Eagles organization was. So, of course, fans took out their frustration and started pelting the dude with snowballs. And he deserved it. And I saw an interview with the guy years later.
Yeah.
I think he's since died, but he's like, yeah, I deserved it. So let's talk about a possible
Yeah.
what
This was.
what if they lose that game?
Mhm.
What if they lose that game and they go into the draft with the first overall pick and take OJ?
What a fucking different world we'd be living in, most likely.
Like, OJ was from California, went to college there, obviously. But what if he had been an Eagle instead of a Bill? Like, Buffalo isn't exactly a
Yeah.
tourist attraction, not a place people want to stay. But
Unless you're going to see Niagara.
yeah, unless you're like an all-time player like Jim Kelly, I think still hangs around Buffalo. But look at Philly. Look how many
Mhm.
different players. Ron Jaworski is from Ohio, I think. He has made this his home since he was traded here in
Yep.
1978 or whatever it was. Ike Reese
Mhm.
still lives here. There's so many random players. Hollis Thomas. I saw Brent Selleck was at the Phillies game today.
Yeah. And he's still involved with the Autism Foundation, I believe.
So what
I
if
believe he still does stuff for them.
so what if
Don't quote me on
OJ plays out his career in Philly and never returns to California?
that.
He's never Nordberg in the Naked Gun movies, never meets Nicole Brown. How different the last 30 years would have been. We wouldn't have had the NBA finals would have just been the NBA finals.
Yeah, they wouldn't have been cut into.
I remember that, man. I was watching the game. I forget what game it was, but it was the finals between the Knicks and the Rockets. And I remember them cutting into the police chase. And I was 12 years old at the time. Probably no, not even 12. I was just before my 12th birthday. So of course, when you're 11 years old and you see something like that on TV, you're like, "Oh my god, this is fucking awesome!" I had no idea. I don't think what was going on. It was just a cool thing because police chases, that's something you only see in movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the police chase never happens. The trial of the century never happens. And I remember where I was when the verdict came down. I was in at lunch and at Springford Middle School, and the whole cafeteria, like, there's like every few tables somebody had like a Walkman with a radio broadcast on, listening for the verdict. And and somebody stood up on one of the tables and goes, "Not guilty," and the whole fucking cafeteria just erupted in cheers. Like, we're all rooting for the guy because we're, preteens and didn't know any better. We just knew this guy as the football player, and we didn't know what a piece of shit he was. Man, I'll never forget that though. That's something that's in the annals of our generation's
Yeah,
misery.
right.
If
What
it
a
don't fit, you must acquit.
what a different world we'd be living in right now. Like if those couple little details never
Yeah.
happened in our history here.
Maybe OJ is still well, maybe if maybe he wouldn't have died, maybe for the last 20 years or whatever, he would have been like a WIP host or something.
Yeah, right. Fucking wild.
WIP anyway.
Yeah, right.
Um, yeah, isn't that crazy to think about? What if what if he had been an Eagle?
Mm-hmm.
You just see him taking the handoff from Roman Gabriels, who also just died this week,
Yeah. How about it? Jeez.
playing with Harold Carmichael on the
Mm-hmm.
outside. It's so crazy because the Eagles were terrible all those years, and OJ, I don't think he ever had a winning season in his career.
Mm-hmm.
Never won a Super Bowl. He made a bunch of Pro Bowls and was like an NFL rushing leader a bunch of times, but never won a Super Bowl.
Wow.
He went to San Francisco for the last 1 or 2 seasons of his career, and it was just before the Montana years, I guess. So just before they got good.
See, he could have been on terrible teams in Philly and
Yeah,
changed
yeah,
totally changed the trajectory of his life. Because he probably would have been like, "Oh wow, this area is pretty nice." Like everybody else that's come, like you said, that plays here and just kind of just stays.
yeah. Ron Goldman would be in his mid 50s. He was planning on opening his own restaurant.
Mhm.
Uh, he'd be in his mid 50s, probably a big time restaurateur in LA somewhere. Nicole, I don't know what she'd be doing, modeling, or well, she'd be old as fuck too. She'd be she'd be in her 60s. Uh, what a wild story
Mhm.
that whole OJ saga is. What a fucking turd.
And then the prosecution just totally dropping the ball, essentially.
So he definitely did it.
Mhm.
No doubt in my mind, he did it for one very specific reason. Because who else? Number well, besides the fact that who else would have had a motive?
Right.
Um, he had. I guess Nicole had bought him these shoes that he told investigators, I suppose, that he never would have worn them because they were quote ugly ass shoes, or he denied ever having them or something. And then they found pictures of him working for NBC or CBS or whoever he was as a sportscaster wearing the shoes. And there's only about 200 pairs of these shoes made, and there was a very specific footprint in the blood at the crime scene. And guess what? Soul it matched those quote ugly ass shoes he never wore.
That he wore just to spite her. Like, I'm gonna kill you in these ugly ass shoes.
I'm not sure. I don't know, man. I have to think he wasn't a stupid guy. He
Mm,
really wasn't. I have to think that he didn't go there intending to kill her. But although at the same time, like, why would he bring a knife with him? I don't know. I wasn't there.
yeah.
But you would think if you're gonna go there with the intent to kill somebody, you would not wear a very distinct pair of shoes.
Mhm. Yeah.
I can't
Right.
imagine you would. And you certainly wouldn't um, wear gloves that pretty distinct too.
It's fucking wild. Absolutely wild.
Prosecute like I so my point is I think he did it, and there's really nobody else that could have done it or had motive to do it or could have overpowered two people other than a giant fucking ex
Yeah.
football player. Um, But if I was on that jury, so your job as a juror isn't to determine guilt or innocence. It's to determine whether the prosecution made their case beyond a reasonable doubt.
Mhm.
And they didn't do that
Yeah.
because they fucking blew it.
Yeah, and then he took total advantage of double jeopardy laws and wrote a book about it.
Jesus Christ. Well, he got sued by the Goldmans in the civil trial, and they got awarded a $33 million judgment, and they never saw most of that. I think they only ever got about $500,000 from him.
Jeez.
But to their credit, man, um, they never let him. They hounded him the rest of his life, and I would hope that if I were unfortunate enough to be a murder victim, I hope my family would stand up for me the way that they did.
Yeah.
I still remember the video and the pictures of his sister in the courtroom after they announced the not guilty verdict. And the look on her face.
Fucking wild. Fucking crazy.
He wasn't even he was just in the wrong place at the worst possible time because they had, I guess OJ's daughter had some sort of dance recital that night. And Nicole and her side of the family all went out for dinner afterwards. And Nicole's mom left her glasses at the restaurant. And she called and said, "Hey, is there any chance somebody there could drop these glasses off to me?" And I don't know how Ron Goldman ended up being the person to do it, but man, isn't that the most unlucky situation?
Right.
Sad.
Yeah.
And I watched a documentary about it, and they showed some of the crime scene photos. I'd seen most of them before, but man, I'd never seen the autopsy photos and stuff. How deep those cuts were. But yeah, and then this motherfucker writes a book.
That's the craziest part about the
fuck,
whole
man?
thing is, like I said, he just took advantage of not being able to be prosecuted again. Like, if I did it.
I actually read the book. I found a bootleg copy of it online because it was published, I believe, but the Goldmans had gotten wind of the book in the process of being published. I think they sued for the rights and they won. So they put it out themselves because he basically confesses in the book. Most of the book is like a bunch of bullshit about the history of his relationship with Nicole, but then he does talk about the murders and how he, quote, would have done it if he did it. And it's very fucking detailed. And there's shit in there that only the killer would know.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you have a very active imagination. And he says in the book that he was there and Nicole came out and they got in an argument. And like he parked in the alley behind her house. And then like she was at the front of the house and he was in the alley. And then Ron Goldman came in behind him after he was already there. And yeah, man. I honestly feel really bad for both of those families, honestly. And like, what the fuck? How sick of a person are you? OJ had 2 kids with Nicole, and they were pre-teens. I don't remember how old they were, but one of them was old enough where to have like school dance recital that night. And how old are you? What, 11 maybe or whatever?
Yeah, I guess.
And I think the son was younger than that. They were in the house that night. What kind of sick piece of shit slaughters in the worst, most brutal way possible 2 people, knowing that their kids are upstairs sleeping, and then leaves?
Right.
Like the way the bodies were discovered was that Nicole's dog had got out, and a guy walking his dog came upon the dog and found there's blood all over the dog's paws, and thought the dog might have walked through some broken glass or something like that. And I guess the dog had gone back to the house and like led the other guy to the house, and that's how the bodies were discovered. But imagine that guy takes his dog on a different route that night, and those kids wake up the next morning and they discover that scene.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
So lucky for them, they slept through the whole thing, and the police came and took them out the back. And they never saw any of it. But Jesus Christ, imagine what that would do to a kid.
I couldn't imagine. I couldn't fucking imagine.
And working in the courts, not there's ever an excuse for any sort of domestic violence, certainly not murder. Working in the courts, I've seen assaults, murders, and things like that happen where it wasn't really planned. It's just people have tempers,
Mm.
things escalate, and shit happens that you never intend to happen. But Jesus Christ, man, such overkill.
Yeah.
So I guess this is the point of the episode where we say we're off the rails here, but it actually started off kind of weird, but like this whole discussion is actually sort of interesting.
Yeah.
This case has fascinated me for the last 30 years.
Mm.
I remember following. I was a nerd even then. I watched a lot of news. When our parents were still together, they had a Newsweek subscription, so I used to read them all. I knew all the shit I shouldn't have known back then. I knew all about the genocide in Rwanda and the Nelson Mandela stuff and uh, the famine in Somalia. So I was probably the only like 10-year-old kid who knew about that shit was going on. So as I got older, I got more and more fascinated by shit that was going down in the news. I remember being 13 years old when the trial happened and just being fascinated with it. We were watching the news every night to see what happened in court that day.
This episode started as only in Philly and it evolved into what could have been in Philly.
Yeah.
And what a butterfly effect, huh?
Yeah. Who knows? Or how about this? What if in the early 80s OJ is still hanging around Philly as a former Eagle and he forms uh, a group of investors to bail out Leonard Toews from his gambling debts, and he's now the owner of the Eagles. Right. Then we never have Norman Brayman, which means Reggie White probably finishes his career in Philly.
Mm.
Jeffrey Lurie might be the owner of the Patriots or something like that right now.
Right.
Imagine if OJ and like I don't know who was it's like the owners of the Eagles are like OJ, Julius Erving, Bernie Perrant, or whoever was the big time people who would have the money to do it back then.
And we'd just be sitting here, be like, yeah, that's normal.
Man, what if? And it's so weird. I remember him as the goofy Nordberg in the Police Academy movies, and I remember the Hertz commercials where he's
Great
running
movies.
where he's running through the airport with his briefcase trying to catch his flight. So it's so weird to see what happened to that guy, what came of him, and then going to jail back in 2008 or whatever for trying to rob those people. He claims he was just trying to get some of his memorabilia back. So apparently this OJ collector had the suit that OJ wore the day the verdict was read in the murder case. A bunch of other random shit that only like a weirdo collector would want. And then OJ tried to get it back. His agent at the time had stolen not stolen, I guess. But there's no way this happens without OJ's blessing. He took like the Goldmans to try to collect on their judgment that they were awarded. OJ didn't have the money, I guess, so they went after his assets. They took his house, and sold it. They went after like his Heisman Trophy. So his agent took the Heisman and put a bunch of his shit like that would have been worth money in a storage facility in San Francisco and held on to it for a number of years. And then OJ took some dude into a hotel in Vegas who was trying to collect on all this OJ memorabilia, and they held him at gunpoint and took all the shit back. And then there's like a bunch of like Pete Rose autographed memorabilia and stuff. They stole that too. Like if you're legitimately trying to get your shit back that somebody stole from you, why the fuck would you steal all this other shit from this person?
Right.
And then you're on camera too because you're just walking around this hotel with a fucking pillow, literally a pillowcase full of stuff that they've taken from this guy. And one of the things I think is pretty fucking funny. or poetic, because I love a good symbolism. Apparently, when the verdict or the sentencing, guess if I remember correctly, he was sentenced right after the verdict came in, but the judge called for a recess and held the court in recess until midnight, and then came back in court and sentenced him because midnight, like after midnight on October 3rd, 2008 or 9, and October 3rd, 1995 is when the not guilty verdict came down. So that's kind of like a nod to and sentenced him with this crazy sentence. He could have done 30 years. I think he only did like 9.
Sheesh.
But man, what a fucking what a wild situation. Like a 30-year saga finally came to an end.
Wow.
Well, I guess it's speaking of the end.
Yeah. Should probably end here before we let's go off on the other tangents.
Yeah, I have a propensity to do that in case anyone hasn't noticed.
It's all right.
All right, well, drive safe, be good people.